This man trained and got buff. Asta is the reason anti-magic is OP through his hard work. He literally states, I don't have talent, but that's why I must get stronger, work hard to make it happen, do more than the geniuses who already have what it takes. Since I don't have talent, I don't have time to hesitate. I've got no time to be afraid, just get stronger so I can win. So from the start of the series, Asta was able to do 1,000 single-handed handstand push-ups, swing heavy swords with ease that others find heavy, and punch holes in rock walls with no injury to himself. Asta made up for it in areas where he could excel, which was his body. The dude was beating people like Seke, who was using magic with nothing but his strength, and was able to chase after a thief who was using wind magic, outpacing them. Asta had already become faster than light by chapter 50 onwards. As Yami and Gorsh confirmed, Patry was light speed. This is before Patry's dark elf transformation, which was even faster and stronger. But Asta, he scales higher than him many times over by the end of the elf arc, after defeating Zagrid. And by now in the story, it's in the thousands. In Black Clover, increasing your magic means increasing your speed as well. So as the story goes on, these guys are getting faster and faster. To prove this, take a look at Mana Zone that increases your mana output. It directly states that by doing this, the mage can grow their superhuman reaction and move more freely. That's why Yami could defeat Dante multiple times, for instance. Or look at Asta vs Nama and Lilith. Our MC bodied them in speed and sliced them apart. But as soon as they fused to increase their magic power, their speed also increased to keep Asta away, so he would run out of time in his transformation. As a result, Magna in chapter 124, remember when he threw fireballs at Asta so fast that he couldn't read them with his key? This means that even his fodder ass was scaling faster than light at this point, as Asta was capable of keeping up with that speed prior. And what's insane is that the Dark Triad arc displayed the difference between Magna and Dante. Magna was 500 times weaker than Dante, with Lucifero at 100%. But when Nama and Lilith arrived, they made even Dante shit bricks in chapter 279, where he claims they scale higher than him. Noct claimed their fusion is more than just 1+1, meaning they are twice as strong as Dante with Lucifero. Thus, via Magna's graph, he would be 2,000 times weaker than the opponent that Asta just defeated. This means Asta is 1,000 times faster than light. But later, this gap becomes even bigger as all the captains combined can't even cast spells, let alone react to Lucifero's speed when he manifested. Keep in mind, 50% Lucifero is hundreds of times stronger than other Supreme Devils. His mere existence would destroy the entire planet, and he told Lucius it's the largest magic power of all. During their first encounter, Asta couldn't react before he teleported to him. However, when Master Devil Union was achieved, Asta had increased his speed to the point where a helping hand wasn't even needed. We see this speed against Lucius. Asta was able to kick him and dispel his time abilities. He kept up with him until he transformed into his Magic Emperor Paladin form. This form, by the way, is stronger than Lucifero in terms of magic power, as he consumed 100% of his heart, 100% of Astaroth, and his own magic, increasing Lucius's magic power scaling at a minimum to double or quadruple Lucifero. Therefore, with Zetan, Asta has made the gap between them smaller, as this ability increased his speed 100 times than what it was before. For example, Sister Lily, who absorbed Beelzebub, she used spells of spatial magic x water magic, but cannot keep up with Asta's flying speed. This is even though multiple was sent non-stop, and spatial magic allows the user to manipulate the fabric of space. This dude even blitzed Paladin Damnatio in base. Well, surprisingly, Asta is also planetary. Lucifero was so powerful that it was stated many times that his mere existence would be the end of the entire planet, and he was only at 50%. Lucius is quadruple that power, but this scaling existed way before his manifestation, as Licht's demon was stated to have enough power to wipe out humanity in chapter 1, and later on against Lumiere, with just a single spell, Licht would obliterate the entire Clover Kingdom, in which Zagrid confirmed there would be nothing left. But if we take a look at Fana's Fire Spirit, volume 16.5's databook states that one swing from its talon has enough heat to dry up an entire ocean. This is enough power to destroy countries, as even the Atlantic Ocean in real life would require 239 petatons of TNT to completely evaporate it, and that's only a one little casual swing. However, funnily enough, Asta scales higher than Salamander with only Black Asta, as he defeats Ladros, who absorbed all of its power, having enough attack potency to destroy him. Later in the timescape, with Black Asta, who is hundreds and hundreds of times weaker than his current state, he destroys a meteor that is way bigger than what Sasuke did in Naruto the Lost, and then Asta blasts Conrad into the stratosphere of Earth. Against Nama and Lilith, their energy ball was going to wipe out everything in the entire country, yet Asta whacks it like a baseball bat with ease. However, as Black Clover's story continues, Ryu states that Lucius will take over the entire planet, which naturally means Asta's attack has to increase once again. That is why Zetten was introduced to increase his power 100 times. From Jack's ultimate attack in chapter 357, we can see that he split the entire ground in half, where you can see the curvature of the planet. But since Asta scales thousands of times higher than him, it goes to show why he is relied upon. For example, Asta was the only one capable of destroying Lucifero's full manifestation when he absorbed the cliff off, and even against the 5-headed dragon, Ryu hedged all his bets on Asta to destroy all heads at once. Asta found it so easy that one swing casually split the sky across the entire Hino country, where everyone in the country across the landmass witnessed him doing it. And since the Hino country is confirmed to be Japan, maintaining a sky split over that would require energy on a planetary scale due to the atmospheric pressure and wind currents attempting to close the gap. Even more evidence that Asta is planetary is in Dorothy's glamour world, which allows her to create her own dimensions kitted out with stars and a solar system. Now in chapter 184, it is confirmed that everything that is manifested in the world is structured physically and chemically the same way they are in the outside world. So Yami, with a dimension slash, managed to destroy this world in a single slice. This feat is not exclusive to him. As we know, Asta replicated his Equinox spell. Therefore, with his current mastered union with Zetten, Asta would annihilate Glamour World, which was stated to be endless by the way. Asta has enough attack potency to destroy moon-sized planets in half. I mean, we can't forget that his sword can expand to reach the sky. Against the Shadow Clones, even though they are identical, Asta with the use of Ki can sense emotions, intent, whether you're lying or not, and even invisible people like he did against the captain that betrayed them. Boruto is a master at hiding his chakra signal and can use strategy, which would force Asta to use his precognition. His Ki usage is so proficient that he is able to predict his opponent's next moves by reading their breathing, muscle movements, glare, life force, and more. This includes non-living objects like rocks, kunai, or a sword that Boruto would throw. Mastering Zetten is where the weaknesses in his defense disappear. Ryu mentions the reason Ichika hits Asta so easily, and that's because his lapse of attention in crucial moments. However, Ichika, who scales at Lucifero for Asta in chapter 343, she has a magic ability called Black Star, which creates vulnerabilities in any opponent by changing the trajectory of movement where there are multiple spheres of it constantly active. Imagine Pain's push and pull technique non-stop changing positions. But Asta, being Asta, was about to predict what was required of him to match her until Ryu interrupted. This is basically a tactic Boruto would use with his shadow clones, trying to create misdirection. Yet Asta has no problems with it later on, because in chapter 348, Asta's weakness of physical attacks has subsided, as his opponent claimed that he would instantly die if he was touched. This dude is moving multiple times faster than light, creating a constellation of his after images. Yet, even still, Asta states, at this point, I can see it. Being able to see his freaking attack coming with his eye, where Asta instantly destroys him. Yosuga claims that Asta's Zeton lets his opponent tip their hand first just for him to counter, which makes him win all fights no matter what. He can even detect the small changes in emotions, such as Noct twitching to Asta's catchphrase because he hates it, which Asta uses to his advantage to figure out the real Noct among his countless clones, whom, by the way, just like shadow clones, have the exact same life energy in chapter 271. So Asta, he would be capable of finding the real Boruto. Now, how do I say that so confidently? Well, in Asta's fight with Lucius in chapter 370, despite Lucius creating 11 clones of himself, Asta is able to detect the real one sitting on the throne as he flies off with past the clones for the others to deal with. And to seal the deal, because I'm not gonna even go into detail of Asta's numerous attacks like his black projectiles, hurricane, meteor, and his other swords, let's talk about killing Lucius's paladin form. His attack power and speed become so strong by using wind magic and star magic, which by the way is instant teleportation just like flying Raijin. Lucius starts to think he must not be reading the future quick enough to react, but in reality, it's all because of Asta's existence changing the entire timeline. Like, think about it. Imagine moving so fast that the villain with time abilities, the most broken shit in all anime in terms of a power attribute, first assumes he can't read time fast enough to counter. Think about it. Base Asta arrives to the fight and he matches Lucius's clone, who has enough power to take over the planet, and matched it with no problem. Asta's durability is way higher and is underrated. He didn't even get healed by Mimosa when he killed Lucifero, where he broke his entire body. As Yuno said, one punch from Lucifero would kill any of them. But Asta tanked multiple, saying "Mada Mada."